All right, it's April 27th. We're here in Kansas City for the NFL draft. And we're going to do our mock draft, Blake and I. We're going to do 1 through 15. And there's Blake. And we did not confer on our mock drafts. We each did our own. So we're going to start off with the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Blake will go first.
Bryce Young.
Blake thinks that the Carolina Panthers are going to take Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama.
Elite.
This is the Carolina Panthers who traded their number 9 pick, among other things,
The Chicago Bears.
to Chicago Bears to get number 1. And you think they're going to take Bryce Young,
Yes.
who was at this hotel yesterday in the afternoon. Unfortunately, we didn't arrive in time to run into him, so we're kind of sad about that. But we think a lot about Bryce Young. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a good quarterback too, and I have him as my number 1 pick as well. I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to go number 1. Like yesterday or the day before, in an interview, they were talking about his shortcomings, and his response was, "I can't control how I grow. I can't control growing." So that was pretty funny. He's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. So, all right, gonna go with number 2, and I'm gonna ask Blake. Blake, what do you think is one of the most pivotal picks in the first round of the draft this year? Which pick do you think is most pivotal?
The Texans.
Number 2.
Yes.
You think? Why do you think that?
Because it's either Stroud and then the whole market is going to be different, or they could take Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, and then that would lead to the Cardinals getting some calls about trading up to number 3.
So if the Texans don't take a quarterback, which they desperately need, and I think it's 50-50. Some people think they aren't going to take a quarterback. Some people think they're going to take a quarterback. If they don't take a quarterback, we both kind of agree that something's going to happen at number 3. People are going to want to trade up to get a quarterback, a quality quarterback. Not that Anthony Richardson and Hendon Hooker and what's that guy's name? Will Levis. Not that those guys aren't quality quarterbacks, but I think C.J. Stroud is just a little bit better. So, yeah, number 2. So who do you have the Texans taking at number 2?
C.J. Stroud.
You have them taking a quarterback at number 2.
Yes, because he's a football player, not an ST test taker.
So the S2, you heard about the S2 test, which kind of, I don't know, your improvisation skills and problem solving and things like that. He got a low score, but you don't think it really matters,
No.
right? And you don't think that the vast history of NFL drafts that Ohio State quarterbacks don't tend to do well in the NFL, you think it's still C.J. Stroud is still a good choice at number 2?
He's just different. I mean,
yeah, I think you're right. I think he's a lot different than the other quarterbacks that have come before him, and he does have a good arm. Does have good accuracy. You're right. I think he has good anticipation as well. I think he has good anticipation. So I agree too with that pick. I've had C.J. Stroud going number 2. So all right. So number 3 is the Arizona Cardinals. What do you think the Cardinals are going to do?
Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama.
You have them picking Will Anderson Jr. So who still might trade to the number 3 pick?
Say the Raiders.
Huh?
Probably.
Anybody else? There's still Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. I think there's a possibility as well that the Titans might trade up to number 3 and pick a quarterback.
Yeah, but I think that's only if
You don't think it's only if C.J. Stroud is available? Yeah, it might be. All right, so for the Cardinals, you have them taking Will Anderson Jr. I have them taking Will Anderson Jr.
They
too.
need edge desperately.
Yeah, they do. And so, but if the Titans do trade up, I think they'll take Anthony Richardson in the spot. All right, number 4 is the Indianapolis Colts. What do you got them doing?
Will Levis or Anthony Richardson? I'm going to say Anthony Richardson.
And I have them taking Will Levis. I think they'll take a quarterback. I have them taking Will Levis,
Well,
who is a movie quotes guy. He says, by the way, he says he's big into movie quotes.
Richardson got that athletic profile, that, like size, speed, really good arm, but he's inconsistent with accuracy, which the Colts can develop. And then on the other hand, Will Levis, who also has a great arm and was in a pro football style offense back in college.
At UK.
UK, Kentucky.
Huh. Now he was at wasn't he at he was at Penn State before he went to before he went to UK, right? I think he was.
I think so.
But anyway, yeah, so if we ever run into him, we'll have to say to him, Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. From the great movie Draft Day. All right, and I have them taking Will Levis, and you have them taking possibly Richardson or Levis.
Yeah.
So number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. They have a number 5 pick, a high draft pick,
Because of the Denver Broncos failure.
because of the Denver Broncos. They got him from the Denver
Daniel
Broncos.
Hackett sucks.
So, now they have a second pick in the draft too, don't they?
Yeah.
So where are they?
Pick 21?
20? I think it's 20.
It's 21 or 20.
I think it's
Dude.
20.
No, it's 21. The Bucks have 20. It's 21.
Nope, the Bucks have 19.
Ah,
So.
gosh.
Anyway, Seattle Seahawks. What do you have them taking?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, who said he's only going to take in calls from the top 10 teams with the top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Had a little off the field issue.
Yeah. But Pete Carroll
During
is the
the
type
combine.
of head coach to not care about that. He just wants the best player there.
You're right. You're right. Guy's 13 years old, and he understands even Pete Carroll. So, all right. So number 6. Oh, and I have them taking Jalen Carter as well, defensive lineman from UGA. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 SEC players and 1 Big Ten player in the top 5. All right. Number 6, Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions from the LA Rams in the
Yes.
Jared Goff
Got traded.
fiasco. Well, I think he's picked up his
Goff got
play there.
traded for Stafford, and they got the first round pick from the Rams. They're terrible this year.
So number 6, and they also have number 18.
Yes, 18.
So who do you have them taking?
Devon Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez? I'm going to say Devon Witherspoon.
So you're going cornerback,
Yes.
and I have them taking Devon Witherspoon as well. Although I have Christian Gonzalez ranked higher, but I have them taking Witherspoon.
I think he's more of a scheme fit.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, number 7, the LA Raiders.
LA Raiders, LV.
Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, sorry, my bias, my 59-year-old bias. So they need an offensive tackle, I think, and an offensive guard. What do you have them doing?
It's either between Will Levis, who's 24, or Christian Gonzalez, who is 20, and I say they need some pretty big corner help, so I'm going Christian Gonzalez.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just got great footwork, speed, the size, and he plays really good man-to-man. It's just good.
I have them taking an offensive tackle. I have them taking Skoronski.
Skoronski, short arms, but he's really good like everywhere else. I mean,
Short arms, like Rex from Toy Story. I got short arms. I can't hit the button. Okay, so Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. All right, okay. What do we got next? We have the Atlanta Falcons. They're at number 8. What do you have them doing?
Tyree Wilson.
I have them taking Tyree Wilson too, the edge guy from Texas Tech. Will Anderson's off the board. Tyree Wilson is a senior, so he's a little bit matured, right? He's a tall guy, 6'6",
he got
right?
a great build, and the Falcons need really well.
Well, they need everything.
They don't need really big, desperate edge help, but they need someone. They need young because Calais Campbell that they brought in this year. He's one of the older guys, and it'd be wise if they just played together. It'd be wise if Campbell was more of a mentor to him, and then the Falcons could be set for the future.
Because Campbell was good when he first came in the league. He was all over for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So.
And then he went to the Ravens, and now he's on the Falcons.
All right, so now we're at number 9, where the Chicago Bears traded down to. And what do you have them doing there?
Paris Johnson or Peter Skoronski?
So that was also one of my original thoughts, was that Skoronski was going to go at 9 to the Bears, but then I felt the Raiders might take him. I have them taking Lucas Van Ness, edge guy from Iowa. All right, number 10, the Philadelphia Eagles from. Where did they get that pick from?
The Saints.
From the Saints.
Okay, this is more tough because they got Bijan Robinson. They could need, but he might be there at pick 30 for them later round. And they say to not pick running back very early because who knows. So I got them taking Kalijah Cansey from Pittsburgh.
Huh? That's an interesting pick.
He'd be a really good fit in their defense.
Well, with all the stuff coming out of Philadelphia about how they were going to trade with the Tennessee Titans and get Derrick Henry, because the Titans were going to just give them Derrick Henry. Titans were going to the Titans were going to move up so far in the draft one spot and just kind of give them Derrick Henry. I think they were also talking about how the Titans were going to sign him to a contract and then pay that contract for the Eagles while he was there with the Eagles. I think that's what the Eagles fans were wanting. Well, yeah, I don't know where that rumor started, but who knows? The Titans traded away their best wide receiver last year on draft day, and. I think it hurt the Titans. I think they hurt the Titans, and Philadelphia.
Is it John Robinson?
Had a John Robinson. Yeah, he's no longer there. So who's the Titans GM?
Ran
Carthon. Okay. So I actually have because of that whole story of the Eagles wanting Derrick Henry, I have them taking Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas. Yeah, we'll see. That's it's a high numbered pick for a running back, especially nowadays. Didn't used to be, 8 to 10 years ago, running backs were going high in the draft, right? So I mean, look at Ray Jennings. He went number 7 to the Cleveland Browns in 2014, right? Oh, that was draft day. Draft day. Yeah, we take Ray Jennings.
Ray Jennings. That movie is good.
Browns royalty. All right, number 11, the Tennessee Titans. They pretty much need everything.
Yeah.
I think they still need a quarterback. I think they still need offensive tackle help. I still think they need wide receiver help. So who do you have them taking?
Okay. So you could go Jackson Smith-Njigba, but if from the Bears, I feel like either Paris Johnson or Peter Skoronski are going to be remaining, and I would be fine with either one of them because, like the Titans, I know they brought in Andre Dillard, but like you just don't let one signing in free agency just affect your entire draft plans. So
I agree.
And like they're both really good.
And I have them taking Paris Johnson Jr. And and the Titans really need a left side tackle.
Yeah.
And he played left tackle all year last year.
Pair him up with his former Ohio State tackle, Nicholas Petit-Frere.
Wow. This guy's pulling stuff out of a hat. I don't know where he's getting this. He's got no notes. The guy's got no notes. Where is he getting all this? All right, number 12, the Houston Texans. Well, if the Titans go back to the Titans, if they trade up with Arizona, I have the Arizona Cardinals taking Nolan Smith. So, in that spot.
I have them taking Miles Murphy if the Titans did trade up.
See, he's already got that condition set into his draft too. Where's this guy from? I don't know this guy. Okay, so where are we? Number 12, the Houston Texans from Cleveland. And again, the Houston Texans need just about everything. So if they take a quarterback, C.J. Stroud,
then pair him up with like his receiver in college.
Are you kidding me?
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I wholeheartedly agree with that pick. I think that would be a perfect pick, kind of like the Bengals, right?
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Although they didn't do it in the same draft, right? They did it like a year apart, and that worked out well for them.
Njigba isn't that fast, but he does have some pretty good route running, and like to pair him up with his former Ohio State QB C.J. Stroud and give Stroud a weapon to throw to, really good.
And sometimes I think route running skills trump speed, because at the NFL level,
like Cooper Kupp,
right?
Cooper Kupp.
I mean, but at the NFL level, all the defensive backs have really good speed. So speed may not be your best weapon. Route running skills may be your best weapon. All right. So number 13. Okay, now Blake. I told Blake as a prerequisite for coming on this trip that he was going to have to do a round 1 mock draft. I kept telling him. I said like a month before the draft. Okay, so he waits and he waits and he waits, and then he comes home from school. What was it, Tuesday? Or was it Monday?
Tuesday, right?
Might be Monday. I think it was Monday.
Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
And he comes home and he says, I purposely didn't do my mock draft because I was waiting for the Jets and the Packers to figure out what the heck they were doing. And he was right. And so I had to change my draft around. Not a big deal, but, you know. So 13, the Green Bay Packers from the Jets.
Now, they could go Quentin Johnston or say Flowers. It'd be nice. Some nice, like, karma on Rodgers for, like, just the Packers finally getting a receiver after they traded Rodgers away. Or they could go tight end of Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. I have them taking receiver. I have them taking Zay Flowers from Boston College.
I actually have them taking Zay Flowers from Boston College as well, and then I have that toggle pick with Kincaid.
He got the versatility to play in the slot, which the Packers do need, like a slot receiver, but he can also play in the outside if you wanted to.
Where else can he play?
Receiver. On the field? I don't.
I think he did special teams.
Well, then they re-signed, who was it? their special teams player. Like, remember that the kick returner? Like, they got rid of Amari Rogers, and then they got someone, I forgot his name, but they don't really need special teams.
Maybe a Packers fan can chime in on that in the comments section, who Blake's thinking about. But so yeah, I kind of have them kind of sticking it to Aaron Rodgers on the way out the door with a quality receiver.
They can address tight end like the draft capital they got from the New York Jets around too.
Right, that's a good point.
Second round.
Who are you? So yeah, I have and Zay Flowers seems from what I've seen about from different reports and all that, he's not like a typical wide receiver kind of prima donna head case, antics. It's all about me kind of guy. And his head coach at Boston College talks extremely highly about him. So. All right, so number 14, the New England Patriots. What are they doing?
So, they need tackle help on the right side of the offensive line. And they could use edge like Lucas Van Ness. So, he'd be a really good fit in the Patriots defense, but I have them taking Darnell Wright out of Tennessee because he's good on the right side. He's playing the left and right side in college for Tennessee, but on the right side he's really good.
So when we were talking about Zay Flowers and the Green Bay Packers pick, you had mentioned Quentin Johnston. I have him rated pretty highly as well, just because of his length. He's pretty tall.
I have him rated like a mid first rounder or like a late first rounder because he's got the speed, he's got that size, but he's inconsistent when catching the ball, so that's my concerns about him. But his coach, his NFL coach is trying to get him out of it, whoever he goes to.
So
that's a pretty smooth route as well.
So if the Patriots, I think they need an offensive tackle. So I have them taking Broderick Jones out of UGA. So, which I originally had the Jets taking Broderick Jones at 13 when they were at 13. So now we're at the Jets 15. This is our last pick for this segment. We're going to do another segment probably down at the draft area before the draft starts. We'll spend about 10 minutes doing the last 16 picks from down at the War Memorial area, the Union Station area. But anyway, so the New York Jets are at 15. And so I think that whatever pick they're going to do, it's going to be for Aaron Rodgers' benefit. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what do you have them doing?
Broderick Jones.
So you have them taking Broderick Jones at the offensive tackle. I have them taking a tight end. I have them taking Dalton Kincaid, a good weapon for the Jets. But again,
I could see tight end.
An offensive tackle would also be, something that I think the Jets would be considering for Rodgers' benefit. All right, so we did 1 through 15.
And also, the Jets could use the second-round pick they got from the Cleveland Browns from the Elijah Moore trade to get tight end in the second round.
They could, because this draft has a good number of decent tight ends. Which doesn't happen very often at all.
Daniel Jeremiah said that there could be 10 starting tight ends in this NFL draft. So there's good tight end depth in this draft.
So this kid is 13 years old. People should be listening to him. He knows what he's talking about. All right, so that's our first 15. We're going to kind of go upstairs. We're going to get ready to get down to the draft area. So good job. Took us 25 minutes. We'll post it and make your comments. If you like what we did here, subscribe. Like us on Twitter at Ohana Gathering House, and Subscribe to Ohana Gathering House YouTube channel. We'll do more. All right. Thanks.